Hey, what's up, everybody? Time for another game theory English lesson video. Continuing what I talked about in this recent video, and I've talked about through how many years now of video games, not just Street Fighter 6. Because it's not just a problem with Street Fighter 6, it's a problem in general, I think, with fighting games. But Street Fighter 6 had a chance, more of a chance to fix it, but unfortunately it did not do it. And the English lesson is when I say something generally is this kind of way, that doesn't mean it is always this way. It means it is generally this way. Generally, if I go to KFC or if I go to Popeyes, I probably want chicken. But maybe I need something, maybe my stomach hurts and maybe I'm like, oh fuck, I'm too lazy. Let me get some mashed potatoes or some shit. Generally, though, I want chicken if I get KFC or Popeyes, right? I don't generally go there for the fucking mashed potatoes. So I said that generally, supers in Street Fighter 6 are used as combo fodder. Now, this guy, and multiple people did this. He's like, oh, well, this could do this move. This could do this move. Yeah, I know. Technically, you know what? Oh, wow, Ryu's a super fireball. Guess what? Ryu's a super fireball in fucking Street Fighter Alpha 2. It doesn't mean you normally use it as a fucking fireball. Because you have better usages for the meter. Just like another guy's like, oh, please tell me JP and Blanca level 2 are combo fodder. Oh my god. Aren't you the guy that's, been trying to bullshit with me on other comments? You're a fucking idiot. Jesus, dude. Do you guys understand English? Yeah, the moves may have other versatility, but these are the exceptions to the rule if they actually get used like that. And I've actually, just to like humor people, I'm like, okay, I'll watch some Street Fighter 6 matches again. And I ended up watching, after I commented, almost an hour of Street Fighter 6. And I only saw like 5 times a super was not used as combo fodder. That would, I think, mean that, supers are generally combo fodder. And again, that isn't just a problem with fucking Street Fighter 6. It's a problem with games in general that supers don't feel is special. And it's a problem because of oversaturation of moves and all this kind of shit. Yeah, you can say, oh, yeah, well, we use Super Fireball, goes through fireballs. That's not a combo fodder. Yeah, but guess what? You don't normally save his meter for that. You normally use meter for other stuff. Yeah, sorry. I mean, are we having like a real conversation here? Generally, you do err on this side. Didn't say you always do this. But again, this is why I said what I would do for Street Fighter if I was making it. And it's so fucking simple, right? And I've said before, I'm down with the idea. The idea that, Street Fighter 6 has a top and a bottom bar, you know what I mean? Keep a versatile usages of moves separate from supers. That's cool, right? Because supers should feel special. And that's why I said what I would do is I would have a few versatile options, and you could look at the meter like this. We don't need 3 levels of super. There's certain level 1 supers and there's certain level 3 supers. You know what I mean? Ryu has a super fireball. You know what I mean? That's his level 1. And he has his level 3, or level 2, would be the Shinshuriken, right? Super Dragon Punch, right? Generally, characters don't need all these different levels of supers, right? And I've also talked many times about why EX moves suck in the first place, and the fireball is such a great example because guess what? Again, look at a character like Ryu. When you have generic, everyone has to have an EX version of a special move. It gives you an excuse to make said special move worse. And it gives you an excuse to make this fucking EX move now have the original usages of the move. Or, oh, wow, it juggles. Wow, everybody juggles, right? You know what I mean? Or in the fireball, it's like, well, what the fuck are we going to do with the fireball? Well, the fireball will win the fireball war. Well, guess what? If everyone can win the fucking fireball war, Ryu is not special. Ryu, which used to take a super, that was Ryu's one super. When we're talking about supers are just combo fodder. Well, guess what? If now Ryu has just EX moves that can win the fireball, well, of course he's going to be fucking more inclined. Well, he's like, well, fuck, I can just waste an EX move to win a super fireball war. Why would I waste my precious super to win the fireball war? Unless I was, for some reason, these meters are independent of each other, they're their own beast. Well, I guess I'm all out of EX, but I have a super, so then I could win the fireball war with that. But generally speaking, again, right? It's like, what the fuck? I mean, the Ryu example, done. You're done. You have no argument. But anyway, what I said, and I've actually been toying around. I'll expand on this idea because I've thought about this before. Okay, we got this super meet here. Characters have their level 1 super, their level 3 super, whatever it is. Ryu doesn't need a super hurricane kick. Super hurricane kick can be one of his EX moves. And I said you could make this versatile meter. Say every character starts the match with these 3 little flashing green little ball sacks, right? Ball sacks, man, what the fuck? Name them properly. Orbs. Yes, 3 little orbs. The 3 little Pikachus. 3 little orbs, right? And this is, let's say, so super at the bottom. Again, we're keeping super special. The moves, the 3 little orbs at the top are going to be the versatile usages that your character might have. What would Ryu have? Ryu can have again, I said he has a fucking thrust kick. He doesn't need thrust kick as a normal move. Don't give him thrust kick as a normal move because thrust kick also gives you an excuse to not give Ryu a fucking red fireball. Because what does thrust kick do? Thrust kick is another knockdown special move. It gives you another excuse to get rid of red fireball. So you don't. So again, there's another example, right? Just how terrible EX moves are. So Ryu only has the EX fucking thrust kick, right? That could take an orb. And super hurricane kick, he doesn't need a fucking super hurricane kick super. Hurricane kick super could be one of the orbs, right? Those could be his EX moves, right? And you get 3 of these flashing around, right? That's your versatile usages. Normally, Ryu doesn't have these options. And I also said you could do something like 2 bars for an alpha counter, or 2 bars for like a wake up kind of rolling thing to get out of Okazuna, that kind of thing like that. You know what I mean? So there's versatile usages of that, right? And I've also played around with the idea. I've said that, maybe, you could say once you lose your meters, or maybe once you, however, I'd have to balance the game, play around with it, whatever might feels good better. Maybe when you have all 3 orbs, or maybe if you have at least 2 orbs, or maybe if you have at least 1 orb, your character can't die from chip damage or something like that. They can still take chip damage, but they can't die from it. It could be something weird like, or you could do like, if you've lost 1 meter, you can die from chip damage. Or maybe, let's say, if you lost 1 orb, you know what I mean? Now you have a guard meter. Now you can be guard crushed. If you lost both 2 orbs and you have 1 orb left, you know what I mean? Now you can die from chip damage. You could add versatility there that also adds in a mind game. Like, wow, my character, I have these more, again, we have alpha counter, so it could be a defensive option as well. I have these versatile usages of moves that I normally don't have access to at the top. But if I use these, then now I can be guard crushed. Now I have a guard meter. I can die from chip damage and stuff like that. And if you've watched the video before, I've talked about how powerful I gave a very simple idea for, say, Blanka, right? For an EX move for Blanka. Everything, and again, I've talked about making characters special from their special moves. Because that's what make characters fucking special, generally speaking, right? They're special moves. Wow, shocking, right? And again, and I've played this imaginary Street Fighter in my head. And if you watched that video where I said for Blanka, if you actually thought about it, like, wow, Blanka just doing electricity at the beginning of the round could be fucking obnoxious. Because every round you start off with 3 little orbs. And guess what? Blanka's like, he has an option for everything. And you are like already on the defensive, right? He doesn't need super. He can just electricity right at the beginning of the round, and he has all these different options using an orb off of electricity, right? But the caveat to this, and if you think about this, and again, if you got what I was saying, if you're thinking about this on a deeper level, some of the stuff I said, it's like, well, wait a second. But since the opponent also starts with 3 orbs, they don't have to be worried about blocking or waiting out the electricity for whatever mix-up he goes, because they can't die from block damage yet. They can't, this new guard crush mix-up won't affect them yet. You know what I mean? And I've even thought before too, because, again, I've had to play with it in my head, and I would have to make the game myself, or if someone ever helped me make a concept of the game, you know what I mean? I've even played around with the idea of maybe you only start off the first round with 3 little orbs, right? And then every next round, you know what I mean? Every round you can gain 1 orb, right? So you can have a total of 5 orbs, you know what I mean? For then a lot of shit, right? Technically. But, you can only gain 1 orb after a round. So that could add a little bit of a comeback factor too, because if you think some guy just gets their ass blown out a round and they never didn't get a chance to, do anything the first round, well, guess what? Maybe they'll have 4 orbs the next thing. So 4 versatile options, or again, that kind of thing. So I've played around with those ideas because definitely for sure in my head, again, people know that I like games like Super Turbo. I don't think the idea that a character can one shot you is bad. And in my head, when I've played the game in my head, there are definitely characters that if they use their meter, many characters are going to have dizzy combos and instant bleed to like touch of death combos, just like Super Turbo, right? So that could add a comeback factor, whatever. But and then of course there's other versatile usages because we think of the super. I said I would put in that CVS2, super cancel thing, right? But it would be like this, you have your level 1 super. But for an orb, you know what I mean? You can cancel your level 1 super into something else, right? More versatile usages of the super. And I would say, and to keep level 3 special for incentive though to use them, is I would say level 3s are the one things that, oh, and of course, if you want to super cancel into, so I guess it goes both ways. If you want to super cancel into a level 1, it would take an orb. And if you want to cancel out of the super, a la CVS2, it would take an orb. And I would say that level 3s are the one thing that you can super cancel without using a versatile usages of your meter. But anyway, the point is, the idea is that supers are not good enough in games, right? Too often they are just combo fodder. And this is a problem and has become a problem because of many reasons. Because there's too many goddamn fucking moves in games. There's too many better versatile usages of meter than to go for your super. You know what I mean? The homogenization of the cast. Again, too many fucking moves. So Street Fighter 6 had a chance because I said I think it's a good idea. And I've even, talked about it before in my videos. I think the idea, guys, it's in a fucking FGC on NBC video when I'm making these fucking stupid videos. I said before, Street Fighter 6, I'm like, that's good. It's a good idea. EX moves suck, but at least having 2 different meters, having the super its own beast, so to speak, is a good idea. Because that way supers will always feel special. And I just prayed, please, again, I hate fucking EX moves and that's not to say everything that Street Fighter 6 does is bad because, like I said, I think how they put in drive impact and that can diz you in the corner and, burn out. I think some of those things are interesting kind of spins on fighting games, right? I just don't think it's, done as well as it could have been. But, I mean, at least it's different. You got to give them credit for trying something different, I guess. But, all Street Fighter 6 has a ton of problems, but anyway, at the end of the day, though, when you look at Street Fighter 6, it's like I said, oh, fuck. Supers. Most supers do the same amount of damage. What did I say? Almost all supers, level 3s, does the same damage. This does this set amount of damage. This isn't something like, guess what? CVS1, guess what? Ryu's not one of the best characters in the game. He's just a solid character, but guess what? Ryu has what? The second most powerful level 3 in the game, and it juggles? You know what I mean? That's not a game where you fucking look at that game and you're like, whoa, dude, every super does the same amount of damage, so every character you want to build up the same meter. There's a game, CVS1, where you're like, wow, some supers are drastically better than others, and it actually makes some characters better. Again, you don't even think of Ryu as one of the best characters in the game. Generally speaking, when people think about, say, a game like CVS1, and again, I pull out these characters from like games that are not classically considered amazing games because you can see the goodwill even in a quotation marks bad game. But classically, if you think about a game like CVS1, who do you think about? You think about Nakamura, Guile, and all these level 1 characters. And then you think about good characters. And guess what? Guess what some of the good characters are? Maybe S-Groove Belrog because he has good supers, right? And a fast roll. And SNK Groovy Ori because guess what? He has an interesting super that's very abusable and he can charge up. Ryu, one of the most powerful level 3s in the game, and you can juggle. Do you see these are specific things the character are doing themselves that are like core part of their tool set. They're super, they're special. You know what I mean? Wow, insane. It's not like, and again, it sucks because, a game system is important to the game, but when every character uses the game system the same way, it's homogenized, right? So anyway, the point is, fucking supers and fucking Street Fighter 6, they're almost all combo fodder. They are generally combo fodder. Yes, some supers are used not as combo fodder. I didn't say every super. Can you motherfuckers speak English? Right? You know what I mean? I said generally speaking. Generally they are. To humor you, and I think one guy was not a troll, but one guy was a troll. He's posted on my videos before, upset that I've done more than him in video games without trying. But, generally speaking, yes, supers are combo fodder. And to humor this, I even went back, and when I wrote the comment, I just watched like a half hour. But then I went back and I watched like an hour. And I'm like, dude, I saw like maybe 5 supers in a fucking hour that were not used as just a fucking combo. Come on, dude. And of course, I said there's also that thing, the special move cancel would also take another couple bars. But the point is, you have these versatile options separate on this thing right there, right? Moves that these characters, they don't generally have these moves, right? And you could do so much cool things. When an EX move doesn't have to just be a powered up fucking special move, you can make it unique, right? It's so fucking simple. And you could put it to these other options. Oh, do I want a super cancel? Super cancel, special move into the super cancel. Well, I'll take a versatile meter. Do I want a CVS2 cancel? Oh, I'll take a versatile meter. Do I want an alpha cone? That'll take versatile meter. Do I want to have a Okazuna roll kind of thing to get out of something? Oh, that could take a meter. But then guess what? Maybe there's that defensive player who maybe say, for lack of a better word, let's say the game comes out, if I ever made a game, they're like, oh, this character's moves, he doesn't have good usages of this versatile meter. But guess what? Since I'm not going to be using my versatile meter, guess what? I can't die of chip damage. I don't have to be worried about being guard broken during the match. There's so many different things you could do with it to keep the game fucking special, dude. It's not fucking rocket science. Like I said, I don't think, like I said, making a video game is technically not only difficult, impossible for someone stupid like me, but the idea of how to improve a fighting game does not seem difficult to me. Does not seem impossible. To make a video game completely from scratch, like I said, to make a fighting game completely new from scratch, I think would be extremely difficult, if possible at all. But just to improve on ideas, to make a competent game that is not fucking retarded, that doesn't seem that hard to me, right? There are very few questions in my mind when even just me like randomly thinking about a fucking video game when I'm bored and going for a walk. You know what I mean? There's very few questions in my head. Of course, I would have to play it and fiddle around with it, but generally speaking, and the thing is, like I said, a lot of the problems with fighting games are they're so fucking fundamentally flawed and such fucking easy brain farts. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, Street Fighter 6. I fucking looked at 5 minutes of that fucking footage. And I'm like, this is how Street Fighter 6 is going to turn out. How do you guys not fucking see this? Guess what? Turned out exactly how I said it would. Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Looked at it for fucking 5 minutes. Oh yeah, this is how this thing's going to turn out. Guilty Gear Strive. Fucking 5 minutes. This shit is like fucking, it's not rocket science. It's fucking baby shit, dude. You can tell there's a fucking problem with how these games are made. If you like the videos, like, subs. So the comment, share, support the channel if you want to. Appreciate it. Thanks.
Bob, drive a pee-pee. Please, Bob. Your fans, they need it.
You're already the PP Pikachu.
What do you mean?
Peaceful Pikachu.
Oh, Jesus, Bob. You have a way with words. Oh, Bob. You're a real slayer. Go get that pussy, Bob.